Hey guys, how's it going? Matt from Foulball Productions here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you're doing great. I am doing phenomenally. Thank you very much. This is Culture Crime Fighters. Me and Vigilante Williamson here are here to declare our intention to find all culture criminals and bring them to justice. Wherever you hide, we will find you. So be villainous if you dare, but one day you will find us, and you will not like that day. Hello, Vigilante.
Hey, man. Hey, superstar, I should say. You're the man in these parts, man. You've done what a lot of people. You broke a story for all intents and purposes.
Yes, I did.
Yes, at least you broke it down. You were the first video to cover, at least that I saw, to cover the Bill Burr situation, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people who maybe check out this podcast for the first time because of it. So cool.
Yeah, I certainly hope so. Looks like I might be roboting a little bit. Well, hopefully that'll pass. Yeah, I'll turn the camera off to alleviate that. Let's say real quick to hello. We've got Lord Thoth in the chat. Hello, sir. Good to see you. Rajesh Taylor is here. Hello, my friend. It's cracking. Jake Diesel in the Heasel. What's up, my man? And of course, the ever funny, ever awesome Sentient Dildo.
You know what? I almost screwed us up. It would have been wrong. Got to do the intro. Vigilante wins here on the third episode of Culture Crime Fighters, and I almost forgot it because I was just so comfortable, just ready to rock, and it would have been wrong. Everything. Well, I'm glad I got that.
I heard it too, and I noticed it wasn't there, but I wasn't gonna mess up the flow. Yeah, I'm glad you caught it.
It's like you can't go too far without it.
No, you're a fucking professional. That's what you are, Vig.
Trying to be. You're a professional, man. Like I said, congrats on the video.
Thanks, man.
And congrats on kind of you kind of changed my mind a little bit on Burr, but not 100%.
Yeah. Well, it's an interesting thing. So the video, like, I legit just found that because I'm a fan of that podcast and I listen to it pretty much every week. And I love DeRosa. I'm a huge fan. We were talking about the Patrice doc last week or a few weeks ago, or whatever. And remember I mentioned that there was the episode, the memorial episode of Opie and Anthony after Patrice died.
Yeah, you sent that to me and I listened to some of it. It was pretty good.
DeRosa's all over that. Like DeRosa, he's a fixture in New York comedy as far as I'm concerned. We got a few more people joining us. Hello, the Islington girl. Lovely to see you. Yeah. How's it going?
I think it's Islington. I think it's another chat. I think it is Islington. Let us know again. I know we've asked you this before, at least in another stream. I feel like it's been asked.
Maybe it is. Sure I thought it was Islington, but that's
I did too.
So anyway, I was just a fan. I was just happily watching it, and then I was listening. I was like, oh my god, I don't think anyone's covered this yet. I don't think anyone's pointed this out. So bam, make a quick video about it. We talked about it on the Cocktail Lounge.
Yeah, we did.
And at that point, it had 2,000 views, and I was like, oh, maybe this isn't going to be such a big story. I sent it to Gary. I sent it to Lady Grave Master. I was like, hey, I've got the scoop, and not much happened with it. Over the weekend, the video starts shooting up 50,000, 60,000. All of a sudden, Sunday night, I see a video, Midnight's Edge, at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock or whatever, just saying hey, we found it. And I was like, I fucking found it. I don't want to be an asshole here, but it's Sunday. I put this out Thursday. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it's been almost a week. You had everyone beat by a week. I think I even put that in the comments that hey, Foulball had this by a week because it just pissed me off as a fan. I felt like watching your video grow. Listen, I'm a Lion. I have an Indians hat on now, but I'm a Lions fan. We don't win that much, so I was rooting for you, as almost a sports fan. Yes, I want your video to grow. Of our whole community, you have the biggest video. We're the biggest 2 videos, I believe. I'm talking about me, you, Jake D, Paulie, Culture, or even the Rat Pack, Wes, everybody, the whole little extended crew. And it's oh man, this is really cool. But yeah, everyone kept saying Midnight Edge, Midnight Edge. I'm like, well, you already had it. And I saw that, no disrespect to the guys at Midnight Edge. I love those guys. They're great. They're great. But yeah, you wrote the story, and that's really cool.
So what happened with Midnight's Edge, and I was like, all right, I'm not gonna make a big deal about this. I would have liked the credit. Okay. Well, then Monday rolls along. I get a text from Eric. He's like, hey man, everyone's talking about this subject and no one's giving you credit. Bro, every single YouTuber in our little corner, like, I'm not calling out anybody. I'm just saying everyone was talking about it. It was Comics was talking about it. Midnight's Edge was talking about it. The Quarter was talking about it. Gary makes a video about it. Everyone's making a fucking video. All the while, I'm just like left by the wayside. Like, guys, like it's not a big deal. But I have like
Gary did give you credit in the video. He did. And
I will say, obviously, to his credit, of course, Gary, the fucking man, he mentioned me right up front. He did mention me with Midnight's Edge, but he did mention me because he's a stand-up motherfucker. And then today, during the Nooner, he made a big moment and he gave me a 100% credit. I cannot tell you how vindicated that made me feel too. It was so grateful. But it's like, yo, everyone else. I'm a channel with I had like 600 subs at the time. Like I could use the press. Like I'm not trying to actually
even before you dropped the video, you only had like 400, right? You're like 400 or 500, and that video bust you up to like 600. And then you're at almost 800. Hopefully, I hope you get to 1,000 off it. You deserve way more. That was a good video, and like I said, even changed my mind a little bit. I have two minds about it. We'll get into that. It's kind of a separate subject, but I'm glad Gary gave you a nod. Again, he's one of the most stand-up individuals I've ever met whether or not you consider YouTube the entertainment industry or not, and whether or not you consider Gary to be an entertainer or not, typically people in this space anywhere close to it are very cutthroat and very assholish, and Gary could not be further from that. So just such a shout out to the video did do well, Islington Girl. It did do well, and I hope it gets to 100,000, and I hope people realize my man Matt got him information. Is it?
Yeah, like and it was just I didn't need anything. All I needed was just a little shout, a little credit. Like, hey, we found this little channel found it first. Blah blah. That's it. That's all I needed. I didn't need anything else. It's not like it's my words. I just happened to and then the next day after all that goes, it's a fucking national news story. Yeah. It's literally national news. It's on Yahoo, MS. It's on everything, and I'm like, can someone give me a bounce pass, please?
Anything, man.
But we did anything.
That itself is a culture crime, man. That's a culture crime. And I mean, it happened to you, but this is kind of a thing that happens in this little scummy ass media thing. Mm-hmm. It's like everybody is now running with this story, and technically it comes off of his podcast, but you had the first video, you had the first report on it. Right. Yours report is the first one on it that exists.
And at the very least, I brought it to like our people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like I brought it to like our side of the YouTube. So it's like, look, I just a little credit would have been nice, but you know what? The truth is it got out there. Gary, this is the fucking man. And I feel like really grateful to him, like 100% that he like went out of his way to make a point of it. I'm like, all right, cool. Like that's better than that feels really good. That's even better. Cause it's like it went unspoken for a while and then he brought the truth to light. So I was like, all right,
cool. That's cool. So we love Gary, man. He's dope.
And everyone in the chat, you guys are being so supportive. I really appreciate it. Islington Girl saying, I heard some of this stuff on Burr coming up, and I was like, I've already heard this. Like, high five. Yeah. Lord Thoth, Gary was straight up, gave you the nod. Outstanding. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. The video did well for I mean, look, I was trying to walk the line of gratitude. It was just like the bigger the story got, the more frustrating it was. I was like, all right, well, it would have been nice.
Definitely.
But Lord Thoth says, like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications. He's a good shit, that Lord Thoth. He's
absolutely.
A good guy.
You know what? I realized I didn't like. What the hell am I doing? I not like my own podcast.
I know, right? I got to do that too. And Rajesh says he'll watch it 2,000 times to hump it over 100K. You're a good.
We're getting that fucker at over 100K one way or another. We'll pay somebody on Fiverr if we have to. That fucker's going over 100K.
Boom. Let's make it happen. And Islington Girl says, it's bad form not to quote the source. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, in general it is. I said 97. Oh, it'll make it. We don't need to Fiverr it.
Yeah, it'll probably get there. But it's just, especially when it's like a teeny weeny channel like mine. It's like, come on now.
Yeah. Those are the videos that take teeny weeny channels into big channels. You know what I mean?
Yes, I agree. And then look, I'm very grateful for all the new subs, man. It's fucking when we last week, I was like, get me over 450, and now we're like pulling up on 800. So that's great.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's a hell of a week. So I'm completely grateful. I'm not being shitty.
Yeah.
It's just weird to watch a national news story that you fucking broke and no one's giving you credit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Hey, welcome to the big time, kid. I guess that's exactly what it is. Like, oh, welcome to the big time.
Yep. 100%.
Actually, it looks like you're at 791 now.
Oh, great.
It started at 788. Hopefully, they stay because YouTube and their sub count is
it's a little
social
weird.
Mistress.
I can't figure out and that same video too. Like sometimes I'd go to bed and it would have like 20,000. I'd wake up and I'd have 20, like I had 25, it'd go back down to 20, and the sub counts were all over the place. I don't understand. I don't know how it works, but it's all working. Oh, Lord, thought you, sweetie pie. We need to schedule a 1,000 subs live stream for next week. Well, let's hope we get there. That would be fucking sick. Oh my god,
that would be
amazing. That would be awesome.
Dope. And again, like you would be getting there pretty much naturally. You didn't get, Gary finally gave you credit, but no, I've lived off shout outs for my whole channel growth. It's just been nothing but shout outs. Nothing on my channel has grown grown it. It's just been hopping on podcasts. But for you to have a video that grows it is really dope.
Yeah, that helped. I mean, Gary coming in to do the Expanse on week 10, that was huge.
Definitely.
That made a lot. That made a big difference. That video's, I mean, for a 2-hour video, it's got like 2,000 views. That's pretty fucking sick.
Yeah.
And so I also noticed that the views for the Cocktail Lounge have been going up. So I expect this week, Friday should be a big show.
Hopefully. All right, sorry, I'm crooked. Everybody's messing me up.
All good.
It was a little smudge in the camera, and I moved it earlier, so I think it's just gonna be crooked, and I'm just gonna deal with it.
Is what it is. So enough about me. What were you going to tell me? What were you about to talk about with Burr there?
With the Burr situation, okay, yeah, we've had enough inside baseball, as Gary would call it. So I've been pretty critical of Burr, but I'm starting to get to a point where I don't like living vicariously through somebody. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are living vicariously through Bill Burr, what they want Bill Burr to do, or what they want Jon Favreau to do, or what they want them to do. And it's like, you can have the opinion. I do have the opinion that, you can be critical of what people say. You can be critical of what people don't say and people being silent. But you can't tell people what to do with their own money and what to do with their job situation. You can say, oh, you can't count somebody's money and say, well, you have money to no, you do, but it's also, especially if you're depending on her with Favreau, there's a lot of people who depend on Jon Favreau. So you're not just messing up your money, you're messing up other people, like families and shit like that. That doesn't mean I still, so that point is, at least that's actually more of the coverage. It's like, you know what? Bill Burr has the right to think business and make a business decision. Now, I have the right to call it a business decision. I have the right to say he's trying to, he's shook, and there ain't no such thing as halfway crooks. And he is trying to halfway crook it. That's something that's definitely, if you notice, and you said DeRozan's the guy name, because I'm not as familiar with the people. He did a lot more of the talking than Bill Burr. And 100%. You can see what Bill Burr thinks, but he's definitely trying to be business about it. And remember, he said, I'm on that show. Not I've been on that show, not I've worked with that show. I am currently on that show, meaning future episodes and future things with this show are upcoming. And at the end of the day, I think Bill Burr is somebody who definitely has plans to be bigger in Hollywood. Because if that's the case, once that is established, that is part of what he wants to do. That's what he wants to do. Now you can feel some type of way and say, you're not quite as punk rock, or you're not quite as the edge guy I thought you were. And that's fair. And that's kind of how I feel. That is how I feel, I feel I wouldn't call him a fraud though. I think that, and I almost did last week, to be 100% fair. That's probably too strong of a word, but I think about, okay, we all do things at work to keep the job going. And that doesn't mean you just never stand up for yourself, but it's like, are you going to ruin your own job for somebody? And again, if you're somebody who wants to live outside of that, you can, but if not, then what are you going to do? So that's my take on Burr.
The only thing is that I'll say to that, and I appreciate that take because I think it's pretty balanced. And, a lot of times people kind of forget these are human beings with like families and responsibilities and mortgages and shit like that. They can't just casually throw everything to the wind. The difference with like Favreau, I think Favreau can't say shit. Favreau can't do it because Favreau needs Hollywood. He's an actor, director like that. He can't go somewhere else. I mean, and just pick up sticks and start something over completely. I mean, like he could, but it's like he'd have to be like in Carano's position where he has to. You know what I mean? Right now, he can probably play politics, do stuff behind the scenes. Burr is a different situation because Burr talks for a living. Burr says controversial things for a living. He makes a lot of probably most of his money. He makes it on the road doing stand-up. He does it with his podcast. Him saying anything about this is not going to alienate his fans. It might make things a little more dicey in Hollywood, but I don't think it would hurt like his bottom line that much. And the other thing that Gary said is like he's actually missing out on a mint. He said this today on the Nooner. Gary was saying that like he could make money on this. That if he like condemned this, he could be fucking gilded. And I was like, that's actually a great point. I didn't even think about the money angle. Is that we're dying to hear this stuff. It's like we're ravenous. I mean, look how like much this Gina Carano thing is moving culture right now. It's a massive story. It's everywhere you look. And like what Gary and Az were talking about yesterday and Gary talked about today was about on the Star Wars channel's videos, like every single comment is something about Carano. It's like her like punk rock quote about like lies and truths and this back and forth. I think there's a time to pick your battles and there's a time to strike. And I honestly think Bill could have struck and can strike and would be in it, safe. Not only safe, would be elevated. It's like, look how much we love Carano just for not bending the knee, right? All the pronoun shit with Pedro and stuff. Look how we built her up to a goddess level. And look, honestly, she's an average actress.
If that, to be fair. I mean, she's good at physically, but she's not going to win an Academy Award ever.
Yeah, she's not. She's gorgeous. And she's a fucking badass for being an MMA.
That's charisma that you can't teach that. You can't teach charisma.
You can't teach charisma. But like, if you go back and look at some of like Critical Drinkers Mandalorian review videos, he kind of trashes on her. And a lot of people did. But the second she showed herself to have depth of character, to not be part of the woke Twitter mob, to not be part of the like whatever Hollywood cult is going on. As soon as she didn't act like that, we were like, this bitch is the shit. And we elevated her to like godlike status, well above where like her, typically would just she'd fall, but because we respected her. And so it's like we took a relatively obscure actress and made her now a martyr, like a figure of renown. I mean, Burr could have come out of this a fucking gleaming champion if he, went hard at it.
To go back to my original criticism for last week, he wants to be a Hollywood guy. He doesn't want to build his own. And that's why I kind of the tail end of my point. If he wanted to be an independent person, that I brought this up about Patrice. Why not just be a comedian? Why not just be a stand-up? You said, well, you got to establish relationships. Okay, that's fine in that case. Burr has all that. He can tour. He can go wherever he wants. Yeah, I think the Coof was a part of it, but now, hell, Texas has lifted all their restrictions. So really, you can live in Texas. You can live in Texas. There's like 5 to 6 major cities, and a lot of people are moving there. You can just live in Texas and Florida and just eat off of those 2 states if you wanted to.
And a lot of comedians are moving to Austin.
Austin's looking like one of the cultural hotbeds of the future. Because of how many people are moving. It's like the New York of the future or whatever.
I'm going. I'll be there in a fucking month, less than a month, baby.
Oh, cool. My plan. I got a long-term plan to get a house, not in Austin, in the Houston suburbs. And then my backup plan is to stay on my brother's couch in the Houston suburbs, so in case shit hits the fan. So one way or another, I'm gonna be there.
Yeah. Jake D, what up, bruh? What up, bruh?
Hey, Jake D. Yeah, he's out there in Central Texas. A lot of people are out there. You're right.
Yeah,
that's gonna be
dude. As far as the comedians that are going, like Rogan goes first, right? And he like kind of he's like the Marines. He's like the first, boat on Normandy, like just like softening up the beach. But then Segura goes, Tony Hinchcliffe goes, probably like what's it, Brian Callen and the other dude, the big dude. Anyway, like everyone in Rogan's crew is going.
Yeah.
But then Tim Dillon's there now. It's like it's becoming like a new comedy hub. I think Rogan wants to open up a comedy club there. And now that the restrictions are open, man, it's a whole new world. Whole new world.
Yeah,
like, like it's becoming the thing. Like if you're anti-Hollywood, like we're all taking notice now. We like you more.
But Burr wants to be a part of Hollywood. That was my original criticism. Was he does want to be a company guy. You know what I mean? That's what he wants. He clearly, because it's not the money he's getting from The Mandalorian. Gina wasn't making that much money. He did less episodes than Gina. So it's not like Disney is giving him money, but Disney has cachet. He wants to play the game. He took, listen, before he was anybody, he took those eyes wide shut acting classes. He talks about it. You know what I mean?
What is that? You brought that up before. What are you talking about?
Okay. It's funny. It's a Bill Burr joke. He calls those eye wide shut parties, the weird Hollywood parties. And he has this thing where he went to, he said it was a really good acting school back in the day, but it was linked to Scientology, if I'm correct. Okay. And he had a lot of creepy experiences because of that.
Oh, okay.
So I'm making fun of it, and I'm using kind of his bit to kind of make fun of it because he's called like the Hollywood parties, eyes wide shut parties. Mm-hmm. I'm calling it eyes wide shut acting school, but it is a reference to the fact that he went to these type of acting schools. And there's no disrespect. I know you went to acting schools and stuff like that too. I mean, but it's like if you were in Bill Burr's position, you probably like, well, I don't need Hollywood, so I'm just gonna do my own thing.
If I was Burr, maybe. Dude, I was fucking scared as shit to start this channel, man. Honestly, because because I was just like, if I go on here and I start saying what I think, I mean, that's it. Like, I'm done. Like, they're never gonna, like, I'm never gonna get an agent or a manager that's gonna, they're gonna, as soon as they open up my fucking YouTube channel, be like, who's woke? What? Gina Carano? Like, it's over. So, like, I had to make a decision. Honestly, it was the best decision I've maybe ever made because I feel more in touch with who I actually am doing this than I think I did for the 15 years I was pursuing acting. But it's like, I don't know, like, I completely understand the fear. And if like Burr's in a particular situation because of his comedy, but if you're like an actor, I mean, you're basically saying, I don't want to work here anymore if you're going to stand up. You know what I mean? So it's like, you either need to be in a position where you can like, you don't need the money, or you're just like, I'm a punk rock motherfucker and I'm going down with this. So but I understand people not saying things, but it's, I think if more people start saying it, more established people start saying it, we can get, I think the mob will break, but I don't know. We'll see.
Agreed. But I'm not going to live vicariously to tell them to do it. I'm still critical of Burr, and I still feel like he's halfway called him out. He was scared. He wanted to say something but you know what? Burr was between a rock and a hard place. And Rajesh, you said 75 million people are waiting. It's more than that because you're not even in America. You're part of it. You know what I mean? Right. There's 75 million Americans. This is a worldwide thing. Yep. I'm talking about this cultural wokeness.
Dude, Sentient Dildo talks about it like he lives in Hollywood. He has so much insight into what stupid bullshit they talk about. He's from Croatia.
Yeah, Croatia. So this is a worldwide thing.
It's worldwide.
But what was I going to say? I lost my track. Oh, Burr. He's in between a rock and a hard place, right? Because when you really think about it, like you said, his brand he couldn't have done nothing. He had to say something because his brand relies on it. So he's in this place where his brand kind of relied on him saying something because the Gina Carano thing became a national news story.
Yep.
And he's on this fucking show and he tried to play, that was nothing. He tried to play it off like, oh, you planned the whole bit, motherfucker, because you had to figure a way of trying to talk about it, but trying to virtue signal. Even in the bit, he says, well, if you say something wrong, she didn't say anything wrong, motherfucker. Stop trying to bend over for Kathleen and whoever else in Hollywood. I don't know if you finally, took the little money. I don't know if you're going to end up in a dress. I don't know, what's going on with Bill Burr. That's the thing. It's say you end up in a dress when you take the money from Hollywood. I don't know. But he was, but he at the same time, he wanted to talk down to it. So I felt like he was in a place where his brand kind of relies on him being critical of that sort of stuff. But at the same time, if he's too critical, he messes up his Hollywood potential. And that's how that's the statement he did. And I do consider the statement and plan. That's how I felt.
Sentient Dildo's got a great line. He says he's between a wife and a hard place. That's fucking brilliant. Because a lot of people
keep blaming Nina.
Yeah,
Is it really her fault? Nia, whatever her name is.
Nia. Apparently, see, I don't listen to the podcast, the Monday morning podcast anymore. I don't listen to that anymore. But apparently, she's super woke. Like my buddy, who's like a Bernie bro, was like, dude, you would fucking hate the podcast because Nia's always coming in there and she's like woke as shit. So it's like apparently that and Latino Slant. Hello, by the way, Latino Slant. Latino Slant did a show with me a few weeks ago. We talked about Repo Man. If anyone's interested in like one of the funniest movies ever, go watch that stream. It was really good. But he agrees. And
so you know what? It's a problem that she's even on the show more. Because I remember, it was like when they were dating before they got married and stuff, and she would be on. But it was like I didn't really like, because I've never really hardcore listened to the show. I've just been a clip guy, just watching clips on the internet.
Well, hold on. I did want to back up just a second.
Yeah.
I don't think what Gina said was wrong, and I don't think she should have gotten in trouble for saying it. But honestly, it's a little clunky. Like it was an unnecessary comparison as far as I'm concerned. Like I think she could have gotten across the same point without going there. Like it's just like I even said in my video about it, I was like, "Does everything have to be about the fucking Holocaust? Does everything?"
I don't disagree with that at all. I don't disagree with that at all.
I don't think there should have been any repercussions. I want to make that 100% clear. I think she, like, compared to what Disney employees have tweeted in the past, that was like, have a nice day. You know what I mean? Like, that was so benign. Listen, but, you could have.
I agree with that.
Better.
I agree with that 1,000%. Just like I'm sick of, you hear the word plantation. Oh, it's the plantation. Okay, I get it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of that now.
Right. It's just,
you know what I mean?
You're just like, all right, with the fucking
you have a job. Oh,
we got it.
You're getting paid money to work. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, it's a little much.
People are dramatic in general. So I get that.
And the thing is, I don't even think she's wrong. I just think it's like, not the best comparison.
And there's aptness. I mean, there's been even a lot of political violence this past year. Tons of it. I mean, we just saw everything get burned down for a year, and the police and the media act like it didn't happen. That's pretty scary.
I mean, she's not even 100% wrong. It's not even that wrong of a comparison. It's just a bit much.
Yeah, sorry. I know about the damn camera now.
I wanted to address what Rajesh says here. He says he chose the wrong stream to give his opinion. The dude hosting it didn't even have Gina's tweet up to quote him, gave no context, no comment on Gina's coworkers' comments and contrast. Well, number one, Joe DeRosa was the guest, which is funny enough, but Bill and Bert are the hosts of that show. I think he kind of sprung it on him, but it's like Bert kind of had to roll with it. But I think you're right. I think he gave the wrong stream to give his opinion.
He's scared.
I think he's scared. He's scared.
That's the thing that's clear. He's scared.
Yeah.
He wanted to have it addressed to say Bill Burr addressed it. So, my man Foulball breaks it and everyone else runs with it. But Bill Burr has addressed it. That's now official that Bill Burr has addressed it. But he halfway crooked so he could go, well, he didn't really do it.
Yeah.
So that's what he did.
And this is what Latino Slant says, and this is something that I felt, and I think probably Bill felt, and I totally understand it. Oops, wrong one. Is that he finds himself holding back a lot in respect because his wife's an actress for Mrs. Slant's career. She's not woke, but she's industry, and he's right. Is that you see how they're going after like people the way they went after Henry Cavill for having dated Carano a decade ago. It's like they're like not like hard, like it's not going to matter, but like it happened. It moved the needle for a little bit, and it's like any association with these people can sink you. It's like, oh, you are associated with her, like, oh, that makes you whatever lunacy they want to go. And I totally empathize with Paulie. Like that was one of the biggest things holding me back from even doing this. Was the fact that like I was trying to be in the industry, and it's like, oh well, if I say things, they're not gonna like it. It's like you live in fear.
Yeah.
Thundercats Ho says Nerdrotic recommended you today, so just found you. Had a quick look around, but looks like an interesting channel. Well, thank you very much, Thundercats Ho. Welcome to the channel, buddy.
Yeah, I'm glad that you just found us here. Appreciate it.
Really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to discuss on the Burr thing?
Nothing else. I mean, I kind of made my point. I'm critical of his response, but I'm also not going to go too hard at him because he does have to. You guys brought it up. This is a business, and even in my business has nothing to do with Hollywood. Though I feel like if our channel was found out, I probably would get fired. I really do.
I understand. I mean, I completely understand the fear. Like I know what that feels like, and so I respect it. The thing is, I just think I think he's in a different position. I think he could have.
Oh yeah, he's in a position to talk, but he clearly that's not his interest, or else he would have. Because he could have took it and ran with it, like Gary said. And I'm sure there's got to be somebody who's going to take it and run with it. Somebody's going to do it. He's going to take the anti-woke stance, even though I guess what's the rapper Tom and Donald? He kind of is, but that's kind of cringe.
Yeah, but I thought about that with him in particular. It's like that was waiting there for someone to grab it. So it's like it could be, there's not a lot of. Like I'd say Ryan Long is probably the best anti-woke comedian out there. And like, he does it so well, like, because he's still not coming at it like from like, fuck the left. They're all stupid. Yeah. Like he just finds what's dumb about all that shit. So, I mean, I don't know. The thing is like Burr just doesn't feel as hungry as he used to be. He doesn't feel like he just doesn't have that same insight. Like, honestly, like I straight up canceled my my Sirius XM subscription today because I was listening to Jim and Sam yesterday talk about cancel culture, and I was like, you guys are fucking not even close. Like they kept trying to make these generalizations. Oh, it's everybody, it's the whole country. It's not the whole fucking country, man. It is one contingent, one very powerful and influential contingent that continues to do the same thing and goes after people for the same reasons. It's that they don't agree with their ideology. Don't try to mislabel this as some sort of, it's a widespread phenomenon.
They're forcing ideology on people. This is more than just canceling some celebrity. This is a complete forger of an ideology and forcing tons of stuff down to the school system, down to, this is deeper than just, but it's everybody. No, motherfucker. Your kids are being taught to hate themselves by teachers, by curriculum, no 100%. Matter what they are. Your kids are being taught, they're 4-year-olds. They're trying to man, I was going to say something. I don't want to mess your channel up like it's mine, but they're being taught, hell, Nooner Raid. Hell, everyone from the Nooner who saw Gary's Nooner. We're just getting cooking here on the Couch Fires.
Neighbor of the beast. Hello, brother.
Hey, this is a lot of the Nooner guys. Man of War 665. I feel honored by having you as watching me, man. It's dope.
I met him and his new wife in Vegas.
Oh yeah, you did mention that. Congratulations. Congratulations. Since you guys got married in Vegas, I hope you guys are still together and happy. Yeah. You're doing better than every other marriage that happened that day in Vegas. Trust me. Trust me. But no, they're trying to shape your kids' ideology. They're trying to do some really nefarious shit. So it's deeper than just a few celebrities being canceled. And I'm sick of people being oblivious. Me too. And this has been going on for a while. This isn't just yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's that's what's so frustrating to hear people like mischaracterize it. It's like, listen, you want to make jokes. I don't care. But if you're making sincere statements about the nature of this thing and you're so far off the fucking mark and you keep saying it day in, day out, week after week, I can't listen anymore, man. You're almost as numbing as them because it's like you are not getting to the heart, to the root of what is going on here. And that's as frustrating because I know you have the observational ability to do so. So hearing you fucking milquetoast fence riding bullshit, I'm done. I'm out.
They're either scared or stupid. And whichever one it is, if it doesn't make for a good product, don't watch it. Don't mess with it.
Yeah. Angel Velez Cruz says she hates her daughter still in school. She's on watch 24/7 to see what the school is trying to do. It's really bad. I bet.
Man, I'm thinking the kid thing, man. I don't have any kids. And I'm like, every now and again you reflect on all the time, the girls or whatever. You're like, man, what if I would have had a kid right now? Could you imagine having a kid right now and having to deal with the school system that it currently is?
Not in this state, not in a blue state, man. Fuck that.
Oh, man, in any state nowadays, man.
Probably. I mean, yeah, probably. Like the curriculum's so nuts. Like, I think I brought it up on Friday, but the what's it called? Unsafe Space had a real searing stream about that when they were when there was the thing in Congress with Ron Paul about that.
Oh yeah.
The things that they were talking about were downright scary. It was
very scary. That critical theory is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard. And on the top of it, let's do the background of a lot of these educators, man. A lot of them are either activists or OnlyFans participants or both. And that's not a joke, man. That is not a joke, even on the OnlyFans thing. Or they're trying to get out of like, they're just teacher union members who are just trying to, get to retirement and keep the union going. Oh, yeah, they got to teach a kid for a few weeks out the year between it. Yeah, I feel for your school system. If there's a charter school around you, I hope it is. If not, please stay on those motherfuckers like a hawk because they are trying to bring you.
I feel bad because not everyone has the luxury to like homeschool their kids, you know what I mean, and take them out. It's terrifying to me that like what they're trying to teach them, how they're trying to indoctrinate them from a younger age. Although I will say this real quick, I did want to see there's a few other chats I wanted to get to. Ascension Dildo. All this is very familiar to me, being from an Eastern Bloc.
It should be.
That's a type of insight I like. My buddy, he lives on the West Side. He's a really nice guy, but he's kind of woke, he's kind of lefty. But his girlfriend is from Bulgaria, and she doesn't put up with this shit at all. She's sharp on it. She's like, this sounds just like communism. Fuck that. Like she knows what it looks like.
It is communism. That's exactly what this is.
100%, man. 100%. Angel says, my wife and I are constantly correcting the way they think. Yeah, I bet, man. I bet that's got to be a lot. Well, I wanted to say though, was a buddy of mine. So much good chat going on. Thank you guys. Rowan, Ginger, Raven, Slavs don't fuck around. No, they don't. No, they should they? But a buddy of mine, two guys I work with, both went to UC Santa Cruz, which is like as woke as it gets. You know what I mean?
UC Santa Cruz.
That's like the equivalent of like an ISIS camp. You know what I mean? Like it's like hardcore training for these people. It's real brutal. Yeah. These guys, the one dude is like, he's like straight up like empathizes with socialism. And even he was saying he had to like tiptoe around all this trans stuff and like, all the identity politics shit. It was dangerous, right? And so he told me, though, that a lot of his buddies who went in there, especially, their enemies, you know what I mean, their targets, he said a lot of them ended up walking away much more conservative than they went in because of all the bullshit they had to endure. And I was like, that is interesting to me. Not to say that, like, conservatives are right, just that, like, it's inspiring to me that kids would go to that, these indoctrination camps and then would come out being like, fuck that. No.
Yeah, have the opposite effect.
So I wonder if they keep doubling down, if that, like, even in the public schools, it might create, new contingents of enlightenment because it just seems like they keep pumping harder. And like, when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, yeah, man, rock on. Think for yourself, boys.
I think it will. I mean, I hear that there's a rise in people, even people who are not Christians, who want to go to Christian school just to get a more basic, legitimate education. Who would ever thought that, right? Who would ever think that you like, I want to learn about science. I'm going to go to a school for Christians. You know what I mean? I want to learn actual science and actual math. That's crazy, right? Because it used to be, the religious don't believe in science. Now science is a religion.
Right. It's true. And just like the Bible, it gets misinterpreted constantly.
Yeah. The Bible's used. I'm still trying to learn that.
Yeah. And well, it's like they steal. What's the quote from Merchant of Venice? It's the devil could quote verse to serve his purpose. It's the same thing with the science. They'll find the science just to make their point correct. Ascension Dildo says, did you all see that Boston Public School cut their advanced classes by 70% because the classes were Asian and white folks, so it wasn't diverse enough? They're already being sued, though. Did you hear about this?
I did hear about that. Shout out to Fivver the Ice Wolf. He brought that to my attention and the Discord. And that was scary on two notes. Not only the whole racial dynamics, but in a way they're making us dumber because they're cutting the advanced classes. The advanced STEM classes get cut because of all this BS. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh my God. First off, an education, and I know we got a lot of stuff to cover. I want to cover some of the other stuff, juicy stuff. But an education does not mean an indoctrination. You do not necessarily have to go and get a degree to have a successful life or a successful career. And even if you do, it's not there's like this thing where it's like you have to be the most educated right? You have to get these degrees, and these degrees are freaking worthless. And so we have everybody, or these degrees will lead you to the corporate hellhole. And I am in a corporate hellhole, and I'm trying desperately to escape. My God, it's a nightmare.
Yeah, and make sure to help Vig on that journey. Make sure you give him a little sub.
Yes, sub me out of this hellhole that I'm in.
And we both, I feel very much like Gary boomering everything right now. I tried to put the stream elements like chat bot, and I set up all the timers, and none of them are going. So I don't know what I'm doing, but we both have merch stores. I just set up mine on Teespring, and actually the merch is pretty fucking cool. Like I would legit buy it if it wasn't me. It looks cool, and Vig has got a good some merch stuff too. So if you feel like supporting Vigilante's departure from the corporate world, hit him a sub, maybe buy a shirt. You know, give him some love.
Yeah, hashtag trade school Islington girl. That's my point. Like, who cares about, not only are we ruining everything for these events, we're ruining advanced classes for the kids who really are going to go into STEM degrees, but we're forcing everybody to be a STEM kid, and everybody is not meant to be in STEM.
No,
because we still need plumbers, we still need HVAC, which is that's not my first thing, but my plan is for the next few years get scouts as far as certifications. But we need people to do a bunch of stuff. We need truckers still. We need all sorts of shit that has nothing to do with going through this indoctrination system. And if they're going to ruin the only point of this shit is STEM. The only point to keep these fucking public schools around is STEM. If you're going to ruin advanced classes, then what the hell is the point of even having an education system in the first place? You got to ruin it with wokeness. I don't care. You know what? If the black kids can't make and guess, I keep pointing to that damn book that proves that it has nothing to do with race. It has a lot more to do with the quality of teachers, not even the money, the quality of teachers. If you have the same kids in a public school, they'll do much better in a charter school because those public school teachers suck. No disrespect to any public school teachers. I know that's not a blanket statement. I know there's tons of good teachers, but there's so few of them. That's the real problem. And then they're just adding shit to it with this shit. So it just pisses me off.
Thundercat says wokeism and plumbing would be funny. That would be hilarious. That'd be a really good skit, like some tools called the wrong thing. Like, yeah, that would be great. Dude, I think you're right. I think everyone has there is not a one size fits all journey for people. And, for some people, maybe being a singer would be the most fulfilling life. Maybe for some people, it's an engineer, architect, whatever. But maybe someone being an electrician for 20 years and retiring when they're 40 would be like an incredible life. You know what I mean? Maybe they would be very gratified with that. They get to hang out with their kids. They get to hang out with their family. They go hiking, whatever. Like, I think we put all these weird pressures and things on kids, or we try to, it's like, oh, live your dreams. It's like, not everyone is cut out for that. Not everyone wants that. Not everyone would do all the work to make that happen, get there, and then be happy. Like, there's different ways to go through life. And I just think we need to help kids, it's like more like lifestyle, molding instead of achieving dreams. It's like, what kind of life do you want to have? Like, what do you want to do? And there's other ways to go about it. And I know for myself, I've worked in service for a long time, like food service. And for a while, I was I hated it. Then after a while, you get pleasure in life from other places, and the job is just the job. It's obviously you have other dreams and ambitions, but it's you can live a happy life without, being the CEO of your own tech firm. It's it's not for everybody.
You can find a simple job and live a simple life and be much happier than somebody with a lot more money and a lot more complication.
Yeah. Because it's there's something to be said that we're not living this life for this life. We're living it for the next. So it's there's lots of, there's lots of ways to live this life. I don't know. I don't want to get too crazy, off the topic, but it is just it's this, oh God, you're doing the trade school. It's you look down on it. It's yeah. He's 24. He makes $80,000 a year. He's doing fine. He's doing fine.
Yeah.
He's going to retire before you even pay off your student loans. Okay.
Yeah. Somebody with a bunch of student loan debt making $40K living in a huge city just because, so they can live the dream. Live the dream. Yeah.
Yeah. Did I catch you off on something? I feel like we were going somewhere.
No, we were talking about the same thing. Just I was, because somebody brought up the advanced classes, and that led us on this. But I did want to talk some of the other stuff that we have, because I heard about the Dr. Seuss, but what happened with Kelly Marie Tran? That is news to me.
All right, let's get into it. So
Yeah.
I just discovered this. She's on the cover of the Hollywood Reporter today.
Okay.
And wouldn't you know it, she's been the victim of racism.
Oh, boy.
Poor thing. This poor thing was the victim of bullying and racism from online trolls.
You know what I will say? I'm going to be fair. Good Lord, she is kind of cute, though. I 100% believe that she got a bunch of racist troll shit. I know that for a fact. 100%.
I'm sure she did. I'm sure she got bullied like crazy.
And I'm 100% sure she got some troll shit from some woke assholes too. She got troll shit from every demographic that could be, because, you know, I did a video, plugged for my video about how Superman is dead. And one of the reasons I know Superman is dead is I can see how other franchises work. No matter what you say about damn Star Wars, there's a fan base. There is a massive international base of fans of Star Wars. I'm sure they're going to blame anybody who doesn't believe in communism. They're going to say everybody else is an idiot, and I'm sure she got some racism. And I'm not cool with racism. That's fucked up.
I'm not cool. They're going
to overblow it, and they're going to make it a thing. And that's why she's on the cover, and she's cute. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, shout
out to the Adjustable Sevens.
It's context. Like, she's an unlikable character in a movie that destroyed a legacy of fandom. Like, she's gonna catch some collateral damage. I mean, absolutely. I don't think anyone should be saying. I don't think you should really be saying anything to actors, because unless they're doing things like Pedro Pascal does, they don't make any choices. They just were lucky enough to get the job. You know what I mean? They don't have any control over anything. Even at the highest level, it's like they start to, but that's a weird role. You're very powerless as an actor in Hollywood. So it's like, to go after them, I just think that's kind of shitty and obnoxious. But if you're going to write this story, you better write the full story. And, you know, it's of course they didn't. Would you like to go over it?
Yeah, we can. One more quick point is I've always felt that Kathleen Kennedy used her as a shield, and John Boyega as a shield, and Daisy Ridley as a shield.
Yep.
They were used as shields. There's a reason that so few, like, has anybody out of that Star Wars camp done anything of note since then? Maybe Adam Driver,
yeah.
But like that whole crew, and remember this started in 2015, so it's not like they haven't had enough time to kind of expand. That whole crew has been kind of black marked by this whole franchise, and the blame is always the fans. It's always our fault. And again, I don't know how many disclaimers we can say, because I'm sure even though you're not going to get credit for breaking the story. Then this YouTuber, all right. Nobody is saying she should be bullied. Nobody is saying she should be bullied for racism. But for fuck's sake, you got to stop doing the thing where a bunch of people criticize them, and then you look, where's the racist stuff? This is where it started. It's Kelly Marie Tran. Where's the racist? Oh, we got a racist. Oh yeah, we got a racist. So we're gonna blame everyone on that person. No, I'm done with that shit.
That's ridiculous. I'm like, I'm sure it exists, but it's like, you can't highlight the rare, like the 1 in 100 tweets and say that's what's common. You know what I mean? Because anybody's going to catch that shit. I mean, the amount of toxic comments I got on my video was just, it was exhausting. So it's like, it's part of being on the internet. You know what I mean?
I've been called a blue pill beta. It is
what it is. The Islington, can you correct this? Is it Islington or Islington? Because I need to know. Would you mind putting it in the chat how you pronounce it?
Islington.
Did she say it? Is it Islington? Sure. Like with a Z? All right. Blame the writer, blame the director, because seriously, what were they thinking? Yeah, it's like this is, she's kind of caught up in the churn, like, to borrow a phrase from The Expanse. But it's like, she kind of is. I mean, she's an unlikable character in an unlikable film. She's going to catch some flack. I mean, that is what it is. I don't think you should do it. I don't advise anyone who watches this to go do it. I would never do it. I don't, I'd go after Pedro if he said something stupid again. Be like, you fucking idiot, you divisive asshole. Fine, I'll go after stuff like that. But if you're just an actress and you just happen to be in a thing and you didn't say anything, outside of it, so the S is pronounced, so it's okay. So it's Islington. Islington. Okay.
And Kelly Marie Tran, if you need somebody to talk to, holla at Vigilante Williamson.
Hit him up. He's a great listener.
Yeah, you just need somebody to talk to you, ask you what your interests are, who you be with. Okay, I'm doing too much Vicky Small stuff. Go ahead.
All right, let's see what the article has to say. This is written by Rebecca Sun. Okay.
Don't contact her either.
No, do not. I mean, you could tell her you didn't like the article. You know, you can say stuff like that. Just don't insult, don't attack people unless like they're being shitty. You know, like if they're being shitty, meet them with shitty energy. But if they're just doing a thing, you know, be like, I didn't enjoy that. I think you're wrong. Don't be piece of shit. That doesn't help anybody. After intense racist and sexist online trolls caused the actress to, quote, close up shop, Tran has emerged stronger and sure of who she is. I feel like a totally different human. All right, what do you think about just that right out the gate?
Another thing I want to talk about, and this probably has something a little simple to slide, JD, a little slight simping. We're not, I was gonna pay anything.
I think he's simping.
Yeah, I'm just shooting my shot. It's not simple.
Yeah.
There's lines.
He's respecting women.
I'm respecting women, you know, she may need someone to talk to. But that kind of brings up a point, and it kind of had to do with the whole Gina Carano thing, where there's this thought that you have to be on social media. Like you're supposed to have your pronouns in your bio because that shows that your social media is right. And you're supposed I'm somebody, I know I'm weird, haven't been on social media until this channel since 2014. I only started back, you know, last year for this channel. So it's like her leaving social, you know, people leave social media all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And stop or take breaks or whatever.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean, again, bullying is not right, but it's like, oh, she left. So how they were so evil. She left social media. How could someone leave social media? You know, random regular people.
My issue is the just after intense racist, intense. That makes it sound like she opened up Twitter and then like 90% of her app mentions were just racist and sexist, and like everyone was just attacking her. It's like, look, like I said, once again, you shouldn't attack her. There's no reason to attack her. It's counterproductive. But I mean, was it that intense where you couldn't even? It was like looking at the sun. You couldn't even open up your Twitter. You know, I mean, I'm sure people said some shitty things, but you know, join the fucking club.
But maybe she, you know, some people have a very like unhealthy. You know, I'm not saying some people. There's a normalized unhealthiness when it comes to social media.
I agree.
And so a lot of people just, you know, those 2 comments, even let's say she got 100 nice comments, 10 negative ones at the height. Maybe it was worse, but I'm just going to say that. Man, you know, those 10 negative ones will hit some people really fucking hard and like genuinely hit them hard. And it's just, if that's the case, it's not no wrong with getting off this social media. You're going to be an actress and you think skin come across a little fragile. That's also true. And again, you could just say, you know what? I'm just not going to do social media.
Just don't do it.
Just don't. Or just be really PC, also, have a social media manager, and don't do anything.
You know, no one ever complains about getting like effusively praised either, because there was probably as many Raylos and crazy people just showering her with love and giving her all the positivity in the world. And so it's like, you could just look at it. Well, this is the balance of being in the public eye. I get positive, I get negative. That's how it goes. But instead focus on the negative and then paint that as the narrative where that's all you got. And it's like, I guarantee that wasn't the case, because the Raylos were out in force and they still are. So it's like, I don't believe you just got like caustic, toxic hate the entire time. I'm sorry. I just don't believe you. I just think it probably happened, but I don't think it was nearly as much as you're making it out to be.
Yeah. And to prove that I'm not a simp, JD, I am going to criticize on this. I can't help but to wonder if the climate was a little different would this article even be happening, right? Like, is this because with what's my man name? Ray Fisher. I felt like he talked a lot about what he talked about because it was hot in the streets to be a victim of racism.
Hot in the streets.
And she already went through her speech, her little crap with social media. If it wasn't so in to be a victim, would this article be happening, or would it be happening like that? I mean, back in the day when somebody would come back from a while, they weren't talking about how weak they were. They were talking about how better they are or whatever. But this is like, let's go in the past and remember how I was victimized 4 or 5 years ago and cry about it. It's like, okay, cool.
There's a great video on PragerU where they break down exactly what intersectionalism is. And if you guys like don't quite know, like if you haven't watched that or you don't have like an education, go check it out because it really explains why victimization is the new currency. Because in there, like basically they've inverted how they basically view the world as like there's this hierarchy, and then they just inverted it. And so they put like the people that they felt were the most victimized at the top, and then there's like a hierarchy that follows. And so if you are like, so that's why people are striving to be the most victimized, because in their world you have the most social currency and the most value to be listened to. Which, obviously is fucking insane, but that's how they view the world. And that's why everyone is finding their victim. That's why everyone's non-binary and they're non-gender conforming and they're bisexual and they're this and they're that. Elizabeth Warren's a Native American. It's like, they're just trying to find their way to not be white, because in the system that they've designed, you're bad. You're at the bottom. So
a system that's designed predominantly by middle-aged white women, by the way. That's the demographic. I actually was just at the store.
Wealthy middle-aged white women.
Yeah, but no, I'm giving the ground level middle-aged white women too.
And central level.
I was just at Publix and saw just average little middle-aged white woman with her little van. It didn't have any gremlins in it, but the van is definitely for gremlins, and had little Bernie Sanders, Killer Cam, as I saw somebody call her, Kamala Harris.
No.
And had little stickers and stuff like that all over her little
no, I'm saying they believe, but it's like, who authored it? Who are the people
who authored it?
Constructed this ideology? And Ascension Dillo is right. It's French socialists that
absolutely
100%. That's 100%.
And German, a lot of the Frankfurt School also.
Wealth is a key component. 100%. I mean, they just took the inverse of class and just made the inverse of identity. That's all they did. It's really not even that clever. It's just mired in so much bullshit. It's hard to sift through. All right, back to the article. Carrie Marie Tran's first recording session for Raya and the Last Dragon involved a leap of faith. As a titular warrior princess, she stood in the booth in Disney Animation's Burbank offices and performed the dialogue. Well, I hope she was socially distancing, and an incantation meant to awaken a mythical creature she could help save the world. Is there anything about like they just started with this top and then like that headline, and now they're just like, yeah, she recorded something. It's like, all right,
I know what this is. They used to do these freaking type of articles all the time. They're just really marketing for whatever stupid little thing she recorded. But the new lens to do it through is you were bullied and victimization and making a change and activism. So you have to market things through this activism. Ooh. My mask trying to shut me up. Mask is working for the CIA. You have to market everything through this activism lens. So this is the same article that 20 years ago you would have gotten to promote a movie that she's in. But now it's, she was bullied and pushed off of the internet. Now she's stronger than ever. All those mean, conservative bullies.
You're 100% right. This is written by a publicist. This is all just press for her new thing. Then they're wrapping it up in the new victim narrative, which is that, oh boy, I was bullied online by Star Wars fans. When the world first met Tran, she was the girl who had won the golden ticket and wanted to bring everyone along with her on her tour of the chocolate factory. The unknown actor who had catapulted from improv stages to Star Wars, the biggest movie franchise in the world, met her moment with Pinch Me Glee. She felt grateful to be chosen. Not that she was some starry-eyed naif. Oh my God, you're right. This is literally written by a publicist.
Absolutely.
As pre-release publicity for episode 8, the Jedi got underway. She started an Instagram account and used it to poke holes in the Hollywood mythos that makes the unfamous feel like lesser mortals.
She used her Instagram to poke holes in the Hollywood mythos. Don't you love those publicist PR? Like,
I do. And the idea that someone from inside Hollywood's like, no, it's
disrupted the system.
Yeah, we're just punk rock. Like, we would hate for anyone to feel that way. It's like your entire business revolves around the myth that we believe it. Like, what are you talking about? If it's a mountain, if Hollywood's a mountain, the foundation is built on we're better than you.
Yes. And most of the time you're complaining about the racism of Hollywood, everything they're talking about. Hollywood's so patriarchal, racist. You're in Hollywood. Why are you mad at me? I don't even like the shit you make.
Right.
Before we're woke.
They would go up on their award shows and be like, time's up. Time's Up. It's like, what are you yelling at me for? You're the one who was raping girls. I didn't do it. Like,
exactly.
What are you pointing your finger at me?
You're the one who kept the casting couch culture going, man. I remember hearing it's not just the girls. The guys are bending over and getting on these casting couches just as quick. Shit.
Man. For some reason, that scandal will never come out, but I guarantee it's it's probably as widespread, if not more widespread. But that'll never come out. Do I really want to read this article? I don't know. It's probably just going to be about how hard she had it.
It's photo shoots. Where the fuck is it? She did a voice acting, right?
Yeah.
The thing was a voice acting. Why does she have a photo shoot done?
Right, because
unless that's from something.
Yeah, I don't even care anymore. You're pretty generous describing her as cute. I don't know, man. She looks like a woman who just runs a fish shop in Chinatown.
She has a frumpy thing.
Just like,
I'm not gonna lie. You know what it is? She has to she's an adjustable 6 or adjustable 5. Like, you know what I mean? Where you can adjust your way up to a 7, and I'm a 3 or a 2. I'm a 3 or a 2 right now because I'm 100 trillion pounds. So I'm not judging. This is not judgmental. This is just keeping it real. She's like an adjustable 6 for some. I don't know. Maybe this is my fault for having a thing for those adjustable 6s, man.
A couple of good things in the chat here. Sinjin Dildo says victimhood is currency now. Usually last stage of crumbling empire.
You ain't lying.
Yeah, that's a terrifying.
We're moving to Croatia where the free world is.
Oh God, I know, right? That's what JT's saying. He's going to escape to the now free Eastern Bloc if he has to. Yeah. And Thundercats host says it's because they think the behavior of Hollywood is a reflection of society. That is 100% correct.
Yes.
That is what they think, that they are like the moral guidance, and everyone takes their cues from them, and then we follow along and march in lockstep with all the bullshit that they think and say.
And you want to know something? To me, this predates the wokeness. I remember in the late 2000s, early 10s, every series was some, wealthy white person who did a lot of drugs and fucked a lot of people, but there was no plot to the show. And it was just this Hollywood is bad, and it's bad to want money and stuff. I'm so sad. That's every show. There was like a lot of shows that had that underpinning, and it came from that. Well, everything is like Hollywood and it's terrible, so we have to criticize everything because it's terrible. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's this completely transparent and insincere. I was thinking about this today because I saw a friend of mine she's a comic, and but she's pretty woke. She's very woke. And she posted something, and it was like she had no makeup. She's in her car, and she has this post, and she's like, just had an exhausting night, giving out vaccinations for the coof and this, that, and the other. And I was just, and I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, there's nothing wrong with that, right? But it's like, it just feels like even their sacrifices have or their hard work even has a blue check mark next to it, even their charity is verified. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it's all just pre-approved, and it's all like an indication that I'm with the big thing. I'm with the big system, and it's like,
yeah. And I have no positivity. No, there's tons of good charities, but I'm very keen on the people who do charity for negative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not all charity. There's some charities that are set up just to look good.
Yeah, but it's like even when they virtue signal in Hollywood about Me Too and Time's Up and stuff, they're still not going after anyone who isn't pre-approved, right?
Oh yeah, you're right on that, because we wouldn't even have our current president if they did.
Yeah, it's all just sanctioned targets. Everything is sanctioned by this ministry of propaganda that allows them to do you can do this charity because it's yes, we say you can attack this person because yes, not this person, go after this. Dude, they went after Chris D'Elia. They are trying to bring him down again. Did you hear what they said about him?
I'm not even 100% familiar with him.
So he's a comedian. So I guess there was an issue a few months back where he was texting some girl, right? And what they tried to frame it like he was trying to bang some underage girl, right? But when that's because she only released her ends of the text, which make it look like he's trying to, or sorry, only his end of the she manipulated the outcome. And then when he released all of that, you saw everything. He actually was the opposite. He was a total stand-up guy. And so it's like, oh, as soon as he found out that she was under 18, he's like, I'm out. Yeah, sorry. You know, I don't mess with underage girls. Like, I just don't do it. So now there's a lawsuit out there that says that he is it's called, they put child porn lawsuit. That's how they framed what he's doing. And essentially is that he may or may not have been talking with a girl who was underage, who may or may not have sent him photos when she was underage, when she was 17. Now, listen, you shouldn't be texting with girls that are 17 and under. You definitely shouldn't be doing anything with photographs, but that's not child porn. Like, that is intentionally misleading to have this like connotation that he's this monster. It's a smear campaign. Like, they're going after him to connect that term with his face. And it's fucking disgusting.
They won't connect it with Netflix, though.
No, they won't.
That's fucked up. And they'll use younger girls than 17. That's fucked up. I can't help but to think that, damn it, those MGTOWs were right. They're always like, don't just know nothing, which is crazy. But like, that's messed up. That's really messed up.
Yeah, like, I don't know what he did. And like I'm saying, if he did something that he should be in trouble for, absolutely 100%. He should be. I'm not saying you should be doing stuff like that, but that is intentionally misleading. They're trying to make it sound like it's something it's not. And
it almost sounds similar to the Vic Mignogna. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that situation. Voice actor who that's been a whole ongoing thing. You familiar with that?
No.
Vic Mignogna. I'm surprised. That's like he's a voice actor. I'm not even big into anime. I know him I know he did something on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, now I remember.
Yeah, they had that whole thing, that kind of witch hunt about him. And I know he has a lawsuit going on about that, where he was supposedly touching people, but he was just like hugging people at conventions. Meanwhile, you see other people in that company at the little office party basically groping each other and all this other shit. It's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's some bullshit. But,
and that's what I mean. It's like they pick their targets based on like who the mass says is an acceptable target. They go after who they're supposed to go after. Like, it's like anyone acting tough, like in this Hollywood thing, it's not like it all circles back to, I want to work and I want to be accepted and liked by this group. Like, none of it is like rogue shit. No one's going out there and just being like, this is what I think is wrong. I don't care about the repercussions. Like, it's like, that's why it goes right back to my friend with like the pre-approved like COVID charity. Like, it's all what the industry tells you is an acceptable target or an acceptable thing to do, and then they fucking lockstep do it.
Yeah, and I will never get a vaccine out to kill me.
100%. Mention dildos, talking about with IG influencers putting fake photos, like of them like repairing looted businesses after BLM riots. You remember that? I
didn't pay attention because I don't. I'd rather die to be on Insta scam.
It was fucking great. It was so goddamn funny.
All the twerking thoughts. I saw this video of this mom of this twerking thought. That was the funniest disturbing thing I've seen in a while. I think it's going viral.
It was this girl. It was so good. Actually, I happen to know the girl who broke this story, but she, I was like in an acting class with her randomly. But she put it like it was this girl who just like posed, like holding like a nail gun. Be like, helping. And then like gives the nail gun like right back as soon as the Instagram photo is taken. And someone just videoed her doing the whole thing. Oh, it was terrifically transparent. Awesome. Yeah, it was great. It was great.
Kate, Rowan Ginger Raven said there was a dude at Netflix. I don't know if I can read that on chat, but apparently grooming young boys and no one talks about. I didn't know that. I didn't even know about that to this. That's something I probably have to research afterwards.
I didn't hear about that. I had no idea.
Yeah, but you're right. If that's a true story, then you're right that no one talks about it. And it's funny how that works. And I know there is a story, there's a story about Hollywood and children that needs to be told. Yeah, and that a lot of I remember Corey Haim and a few others have kind of whispered about what their story is, and that's never going to get told. But of course, it's comedian.
Sorry,
but no, just adding on to the point. They won't tell that, but they'll mess with the comedian for
smear. It's so disgusting. What a disgusting misrepresentation of like what he was doing. Like, I'm not saying it was right, and even if it wasn't, whatever he was doing was improper. It's still not the way they're framing it. Like, that's just so disgusting. That's so wrong. Islington Girl says, I don't know about the underage thing. If they're under 18, where is the line? Just legit asking. Most age of consent isn't younger than that. Is it? It depends on the state.
Some states is 16. A lot of states are 16, but it's 18 for pictures, I believe.
I think that's universal. I think that's universal.
Yeah, which is why don't ask for pictures at all till you got an ID, a fucking background check.
Later, buddy.
Good night, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It's wild, man. I don't like the false righteousness. That really bothers me. I don't like when people act like they're standing up for something, and it's like you would never stand up for anything unless you already knew you were allowed to stand up for it. Like,
yeah,
you're it's so transparent how much you're just like, yeah, I agree with what everyone else around here thinks. Like, fuck you. Counts for nothing. Do you want to move on story wise?
Yeah, it's nothing more to say about Kelly Marie Tran. I mean, I know I got more love for the adjustable 5s than everyone else, but outside that,
it's just face.
It's kind of frumpy. She has a frumpy thing.
And she does. I don't know her, but she seems super unlikable.
She might be.
I don't know. I don't want to pass judgment too harshly on someone, but that's just my impression. She just seems like.
I don't know. I gotta think. I mean, she doesn't have a real body shape. I can't defend this. I can't defend it.
We'll leave poor Kelly Marie Tran alone for now.
Yeah.
Now, okay. So the next thing I wanted to talk about with you is, I guess I didn't know this, but I guess one fish, two fish, you're racist. I don't know. I'm not sure. Like.
I keep hearing about this Dr. Seuss thing. I haven't even cracked into it because I just thought it was so ridiculous. Like I can't.
It's legit though. Like this is a legit story. This isn't even like because Biden like went with it. It's not even like. Yeah,
you're right. So Muppets and Dr. Seuss are racist.
Yeah, 6 Dr. Seuss books won't be published for racist images. Boston, Associated Press. 6 Dr. Seuss books, including And to Think They Saw It on Mulberry Street and If I Ran the Zoo, will stop being published because of the racist and insensitive imagery. The business that preserves and protects the author's legacy said Tuesday.
Wait, you said it's racist. What imagery is racist? I don't even know what makes it racist.
I don't know. What I heard was it was dehumanizing to Black people, and the description I got might have been accurate. However, I think it was written in like the 30s. So
without knowing what it is,
yeah,
like it could indeed be racist, right? It could indeed be like, you know what, this is 230s. There's no real need to publish it now. Okay. But like, because of the track record of thinking orcs are racist, in fact, and getting rid of every single Black or non-white spokesperson, so only white spokespeople can exist.
Right.
And with that track record, I'm just inclined to say, oh my God, I'm inclined to roll my eyes and think it's some BS. But I don't even know enough about the story to know that she's. Oh no, because I'm looking at that Islington girl say she's not an ugly woman. Trying to defend my.
About Kelly.
Yeah, but
not a pretty woman.
Yeah.
But
neither here nor there. I don't even know. I don't know what images they're talking about, but it is just. I don't like the idea. Like even if it's some crazy shit, we're just gonna cancel all of Dr. Seuss.
Well, I don't know if it's all Dr. Seuss. So let's finish reading the article before we pass.
Yeah, but just the way they do things, though, right?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Even if they're just taking a few books, now Dr. Seuss equals racist writer in their heads by the way they do things, by their logic. You know what I mean? So anytime they mention Dr. Seuss going forward is going to be racist. Then the school system is going to take Dr. Seuss out of it, and then they're going to put the gay BCs in its place. But that's neither here nor there. I'll let you go ahead and read the story.
No, you're right about that. And the Islington girl says that it's just one step to censoring other books. Hard no to that. Not wrong. Not wrong at all. All right. So these books portray people in ways that are hurtful and wrong. Dr. Seuss Enterprises told the AP in a statement that coincided with the late author and illustrator's birthday. Ceasing sales of these books is only part of our commitment and our broader plan to ensure that Dr. Seuss Enterprises will not be targeted by BLM riots. I mean, catalog represents and supports all communities and families, it said. The other books affected are McElligot's Pool, On Beyond Zebra, Scrambled Egg Superb, and The Cat's Quizzer. I mean, to be fair, I have never heard of any of these. The decision to cease publication and sales of the books was made last year after months of discussion. The company, which was founded by Seuss's family, told AP. Dr. Seuss Enterprises listened and took feedback from our audiences, including teachers, academics, and specialists in the field as part of our review process. We then worked with a panel of experts, including educators, to review our catalogs of titles. It said.
Southfield, Michigan. I know that place.
Okay.
I went to that high school. Southfield
it just sounds like enough. Okay, so their minister of propaganda reviewed it and said it's racist. Can we get some proof though? And to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street, an Asian person is portrayed wearing a conical hat, holding chopsticks, and eating from a bowl. Asians don't eat from bowls. Everyone knows that.
Yeah,
I am disgusted.
So, but I thought Asians were white. I didn't think they cared about Asians. I know I got a crush on Kelly Marie Tran, but that notwithstanding, I thought Asians were just white.
Well, they're not white when it's convenient, I think, is what we can learn here.
But the first story was about how they're getting rid of the AP. Remember we talked about the AP thing? They're getting rid of AP classes because there are too many Asian and white kids because Asians were just considered white. But now, if you're racist towards Asians, it's right. Okay. Cool. Glad I'm keeping up.
It's an insane web and lattice of hypocrisy and contradiction that, like, you need like forensic scientists to uncover what it's supposed to mean, because none of it makes any fucking sense. All right, and if I Ran the Zoo includes a drawing of two barefooted African men wearing what appear to be grass skirts and their hair tied above their head. I mean, is that really...
Those are the images we're talking about?
This is how far this goes. All right. Books by doctors. I mean, if they were in the zoo, I could see that being a problem. But
yeah.
Books by Dr. Seuss, born Theodore Seuss Geisel in Springfield, Massachusetts on March 2nd of 1904. This man was born over 115 years ago. Jesus. Do we really need to hold what his worldview was to our standard now? Can we not
even
separate the difference?
It doesn't even sound that bad. It's not even like Lovecraftian. You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, that's pretty bad.
Like I looked up some of his political cartoons. Like they are distinctly anti-fascist, and he calls out a lot of phony bullshit when it comes to fascism. He was a punk, dude. So
real quick, because I can't read, and I see Southfield, Michigan again. I used to live there. What does Southfield have to do with anything?
Maybe that's just where this AP office is. I don't know.
I'm trying to see, like, who is the demon reading? Is that the our governor? Because I read through this mask and see it through this mask.
Ascension Dildo says, isn't Amazon already digitally burning conservative authors' books? Wouldn't shock me for Slay's bit. No.
They probably are.
I believe it. Tim Pool showed that Asian guy image. It was not offensive in any way. It was a guy in a traditional dress eating.
Oh, boy.
Wow. Oh, yeah. A good point, Sentient. Isn't, by that standard, Wakanda depiction incredibly problematic?
Ooh, very good point.
Very good point.
Very good point.
They're using spears and shields. Super racist.
Wakanda is a really fucked up. There's a lot wrong with Wakanda. A lot wrong.
My favorite videos, Mahler and Critical Drinkers videos on that movie are like searing. They're so sharp. I love it. Yeah. Rowan Ginger Raven says that Justice Thomas book was taken off Amazon. I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is.
He is a black justice, so you can censor black people. It's okay. We're just back in the 1800s again.
Wait, like a justice, like a court, like
yep. But he's conservative, so his word doesn't mean anything.
What the fuck?
Yep. He voted for something for Trump that they didn't like, so he gets
I'll take a look.
It doesn't mean anything. His So yeah, black people, you N-words better get in line and follow Killer Cam like we told you.
Get with the program.
And even though Joe Biden doesn't like you, you better listen. Part of the Supreme Court. Gary,
the fucking champion that he is. On Facebook, he posted my I think I can share this. Let me see. That was nice of him. That was very, very, very good.
Shout out to Nerdrotic. He's the grandfather of. So I don't know if he realizes how big what he's caused with all the channels that sprung up. All of our crew. I know Last year he was calling, we need more creators. We need more creators. And I think that's a lot of
Here
us
we are.
started around that time. And here we are. And he's still pushing us and he's still doing cool stuff for us. Thank you so much. I know it's your channel, but just still, he's helped my channel a ton. He's helped us all out a ton.
And I'm only in this because of the community that he harbored, you know, with guys like you, but also Jake and Thoth and Draco. Like, they all embraced me with open arms and, you know, without knowing anything about me, brought me on their stream. So no, has a lot to do with Gary's generosity, his you know, kindness, and like and this is really touching. This is great. That's so cool. You know, he says, calls me a good guy. And I'm almost at 1,000 subs. He'd love to see me get there. That's so cool. Thanks, Gary. Cool. That's fucking awesome.
A good guy.
That's so fucking cool of him, man. That's great. Thank you, Gary. And thank you, Jake. Thanks for pointing that out, buddy. That's really cool, man. I'm
close to 800 at 794 right now.
Fucking A, man. Fucking A. Let's get there.
Yeah, man. You deserve it, man. You worked real hard. And you dropped heat. You broke stuff, and even then you had the Expanse video. I know did well. You done a lot of stuff with the Expanse and kind of been really big on that. And even taking some heat for some of your takes on the Expanse. So yeah, that's really good that your channel's growing, man. I'm proud of you, man.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. You know, I think we all come up together, bro. And it's I got lucky on a few videos, which is like it was the right time. I found it at the right time. I'm grateful for everyone who liked it. And you know, if you shared it, thank you. Even if you just watched it, I really appreciate it. It's like, it's fun, man. It's exciting. You know, it's cool. People are getting into it. So it means a lot. You know, can't do it without everyone else. So it's awesome. I have a meme I want to share with you, and I know you're gonna love it. So let's get through this article, or at least most of it, and then you're gonna love it. All right. Books by Dr. Seuss, dozens of language, 100 countries. Okay. He died in 91. He remains popular, earning an estimated 33 million before taxes in 2020. Wow. Damn it, it's up from just 9 million a few years ago. Company says second highest paid dead celebrity of 2020, behind only Michael Jackson. Wow. So is this like a hit? Is this like someone who wants to number 3 is like, fuck that, I want to be number 2, and just takes out Seuss?
You never know, man. Shit, you know how Hollywood is. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm not shocked though. I mean, last year was the lockdown. If you had a lot of people who don't pay attention to their damn kids, because they send them to these indoctrination camps and don't care about them. I know a lot of, you know, Angel cares about his kids, worried about them. But they like, oh shit, I gotta teach my kids something. I'll give them Cat in the Hat. You know what I mean? I'll give them a Dr. Seuss book, because they're not gonna. They're already not learning shit from school, but they're not even going to school. So here's Dr. Seuss. So I'm sure they had a successful year. But this is
so funny. Like, I'm Googling it, and literally I can't find the images.
Isn't that something? Maybe you have to duck go them. That's crazy. That's scary. That's very scary that you can't find the images, right?
All right, I found one.
Erased it from the internet.
I found one that looks like an exaggeration of Asian people. Let me see here.
And a Hell Slasher explainer. I see.
Hey, what's up, brother? Good to see you. Okay, so I googled Doctor. So this is the one that came up. Is like kind of a cartoony version of Asian people. But listen, like, it's a cartoon. Like, it's supposed to be an exaggeration. Like, if you cartooned me, it would be an exaggeration of all. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, it's right and let's keep doing it. But like, is this really setting Asian people back? Like, is this really actually hurting people's perception? I mean, maybe it is. Like, I don't think it is.
When Kelly Marie Tran slides in my DMs, I'll ask her how she feels about it.
There you go. We'll get a first-hand point of view. But it's just people get weird with cartoons. Like, you know, I watched that show, Bad Friends, you know, with Bobby Lee and Andrew Santino. You know, it's a funny show. It really is. But like, they have animated versions of the two of them. And like, in Bobby Lee's, he's Korean. His eyes are not Asian. And it's like, why? I'm looking at you. You have Asian eyes. Why would you leave it out of the drawing? Like, it's just such a ridiculous thing to not do. It's like, are you leaving it out because you think it's bad? Like, I don't think it's bad. But if you think it's bad, that's weird.
Man, I've said this time and time again. if you didn't know any better, and Ryan Long, you brought him up, he talked about if you didn't know any better, you would swear all this woke stuff is really subverted white supremacy, right? Where it's just trying to say, well, because it's not white, we're making fun of them because of their thing. Like, no, that's just how people look. And like, I don't see who's offended. What Asian group, what Asian people, at least with the Apu thing for The Simpsons, which was bullshit. There was this guy, he did a whole documentary about it. There was a whole thing of people who were from this background expressing themselves. Now, a lot of people actually came out in defense of it once they got canceled. But at least there was some receipts, some semblance of receipts. I'm gonna start needing to see receipts. If you got, I know all the canceling is bullshit. I know it's all cultural Marxism. I know it's all communism. I know it's all the shit that happened in Central Dildo's country years ago. It happened in the Eastern Bloc. It's just in this new wave of subversive, passive aggressive way of doing it. But you're going to start needing receipts because I'm really tired of, and this goes with both stories. The Kelly Marie Tran was completely receiptless. Completely receiptless. This story is completely receiptless. So anybody, Central Dildo had a comment. It actually did not make it on the YouTube. It only made it behind the scenes. I don't know why that is. But he said something about all you poor black people. Isn't it good that all these wealthy white people are here to save you, basically? Yeah. And that's what it is. Like, isn't it good these wealthy white people who went to college, especially these wealthy white women, are here to use you black people as shields to do whatever the fuck they want. Are here to use Asian people as shields to do whatever the fuck they want. Then come at Asians when it's convenient, and then isn't it great that these blue-haired white people,
and the white girls stand next to you like, yeah, we are oppressed equally. It's like, what the
You're
fuck?
the most powerful demographic on earth.
What are you talking about?
By a long shot.
But they act like, yeah, we are in this fight together. It's like, who's we?
We're fighting against you now, bitch. You're the villain. You're the villain. We are all. The whole world is scared of 35 to 55-year-old white women with Twitter and Facebook accounts and cuck husband. Like you're the most dangerous people on planet.
Yeah, and a bunch of beta soy boys in tow behind, too afraid to tap in their own masculinity.
Yes,
and just yeah, I agree. I am a sexist piece of shit. It's like, don't throw me in there, motherfucker. Like, don't speak for me. We all are. We are all. I'll speak for myself. Thank you very much.
You're a male feminist, so you don't count, bro. So I don't want to hear your
opinion means nothing.
Yeah.
I did want to share this meme with you, and I thought you would really
let's go.
Out of it. I saved a few memes for you. Cool. Where are we? Okay,
go off camera so I can see them. Oh boy, man! You know what's funny about this? I just became aware of another ratchet rapper. It's a younger one, like Suki Haga or some shit.
Okay,
and she's. I thought Cardi be like, man, these. The younger ones are getting even worse. But yes, the song of the year, Lily is telling women to make men's pull-out game week. That's going to be great for single mothers. But at least they won't be able to teach those single kids after they made your pull-out game week and hit you up for child support. They won't be able to give your kids Dr. Seuss, so they're not going to learn to read that way.
Get a bucket and a mop for this wet-ass pussy. Now, we cannot have Dr. Seuss. We cannot. Yeah. Green eggs and ham? What does that mean? What is he getting at with those green eggs and ham? Is that some kind of a money reference? I don't know. It's just it's obscene. It's like, it's the banana. This meme summed it up so well to me. I was like, yeah, exactly. Like, that's all great and terrific, and this should be embraced. Like, these two cartoon characters of women, and it's like this mild, like, benign, harmless thing is like, well, now we've got to step in. This is going to affect culture. What a crime this is.
Yeah, sorry, Islington girl. It's your demographic, man. I gotta take blame. I gotta take blame for those two thoughts who sent all that craziness to the airwaves. You gotta get your girls in check, man.
It's scary out there, man. It's scary because I think like women kind of like they socialize a little bit more like as groups, you know what I mean? Like, it's very important, like group dynamics. I think that goes back to like anthropology. Like, when we were hunter gatherers, like the men would go hunt, like the women would like gather like in like the kind of tribal communities, like when we're proto humans. And I think so. That's like where a lot of that socialization comes from. So
Absolutely.
these communities are often run by these like women, and often white women, and they use that power of the group as like conformity pressure. Like they'll kick you out of the group. It's like everything Kerry Smith was talking about with the from Unsafe Space with the knitting communities. It's this group mentality, and they'll find a way to squeeze you out and like make expose you as like this terrible person. It's scary, man. It's fucking scary. And if you're a guy and you're not ready for that shit, you don't know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, it's crazy. And just, like I talk shit about my job, which again I'll get fired for find me out. Fuck, I hate them. Like the corporate world. Yeah, I got to slip it in, but whatever. But yeah, the corporate world is very matriarchal, so you kind of deal with a lot of that group pressure shit where they're like group pressuring you into bullshit. It's very creepy. It's a very creepy thing.
It is,
and it's becoming more normalized. So, not to pick on that group. That's the group that made everything about your demographics. So I mean, I'm sick of everything's about what color you are, what religion you are, what sexuality you are, gender. Like this is getting just nauseating.
It's scary. It's really scary, and it's really weird. And like it's just you find yourself like if you're just someone who lives in truth, like you find yourself in very precarious positions because you're like, all right, well, what you're saying is straight up bullshit, but like I can't say that right now because of the social repercussions that could happen. But like you're straight up lying.
Yeah, and that's what makes this platform, for as long as they allow it, Office Space starring Vigilante. That may be, but that's what makes this thing so precarious and also so necessary. Like we have to say something. If we don't say something, if Gary, if whatever channels don't say anything, it's not going to get said. It's not going to get said.
100%, man. 100%. I got another meme for you.
All right.
I don't know how this is going to show up, but because it's a big one. That's what she should. Let's see here. Okay, it's tough. I don't know if you can see that, but at the top, it's got that chick, the Be Less white woman. There we go.
Oh, Robin DiAngelo.
Yeah, Robin DiAngelo.
That's why that bitch is a demon.
She's a demon. But then this is all the like high offices at Coke. These are all the people who work for Coke and like president, vice president, all the different like. Look at this shit.
Mostly white and a few.
Like a few tokens. Thrown in there. There's a few, but these are
a few tokens.
It's like
90. You guys should try to be less white.
It's just so gross.
And how hard is it to be an exec at Coke? Really? You guys already have a fucking green. We've talked about on previous podcasts. They still bring in cocaine and use cocoa leaf extract to this day in Coca-Cola. So you already have literal cocaine in your product, and nobody says anything. You have a product with over 100 years plus of brand loyalty. Wait, you have no job to do.
Wait, are you sure it still has literal cocaine in it? Because I don't want
it's not cocaine. Okay, it's cocoa leaf extract, technically. It is not technically.
I don't want to get sued, dude.
Yes, I do not want to get you sued. Thank you for clarifying. And it's crazy that we live in that crazy of a thing where it's technically cocoa leaf extract.
Yeah.
That is the technical thing that is still in the product. So it's not technically cocaine. There's a difference in chemical, but I know it's I don't want to get anyone in legal trouble. You're right. It's cocoa leaf extract. Just to be specific.
Just to be safe.
For specific. So it's cocoa leaf extract. It's something that's also used in cocaine. How about that? Does that work?
Yeah, cool.
That passes legal. So yeah, they're allowed to use that. And they also have a brand that has 100 plus years of brand loyalty. They invented Santa Claus. Coca-Cola, as long as they don't screw it up, have no reason to never lose money. Even when they tried a new Coke and tried to screw it up, they still succeeded. This is an almost unkillable brand.
Yeah, it's like when you have a brand like that, it's like it's weird that they even advertise. It's just like bizarre to me. It's like
you don't have.
It's like advertising running water. It's like I know it's there. I don't need to be told about it.
Yeah, Oreo did something similar. Trans people exist. We know. So do trans fats, which apparently Oreo does not have trans fats.
That's funny.
That's what's discovered, but it does have a lot of sugar. So there's that.
Yeah, I hope it's like this is the beginning of the end. You know what I mean? I hope that they're just pushing it so far that even normies are like, what? And that they're not, people that are not like on Gary's streams or on this stream, like talking about this shit. Like, it's like, I hope that this is where that really starts to turn around and they're like, okay, we're done. Dr. Seuss isn't racist. Oreo is not my source for gender issues, and Coca-Cola is not going to be the guiding light to save, to cure racism. Like,
how about curing diabetes, Coca-Cola? How about
right?
That? Oh, yeah. Wait, you would have to not exist.
You'd have to not exist. Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
So go fuck yourself. And you know what? Okay, I'm wrong about the cocaine, but I will stand by this. Coca-Cola makes an addictive product. That's something I'll stand by, and that's something I can verify with science. So they make an addictive product that makes people sick. That's something that's very much true. So, why don't you check that if you're going to try to be so hard about racism?
Wait, is this true what Sentient Dildo's saying? They didn't really invent Santa. They just rebranded him, dressed him in red, for example. He was originally in green. Is that true?
I don't know. I know they came up with the image that we think of Santa Claus is completely them. So I don't know what the original image is, but I do know that they created that. But I think
what I heard was that it was a Civil War thing. The image that we have of Santa was this.
Really?
Yeah. I heard it on the History Hyenas podcast. So I'm sure
you might be right. Let
me see here. I think it was like it was a propaganda poster or something like that. It was really wild. Like, it looks just like the image of Santa. Let me see the origin of Santa.
Wait a second. So you're telling me Coca-Cola Be Less White helped popularize a Civil War era image of Coca-Cola? Can we break this story and bring them down?
I know.
Back-to-back weeks of breaking big news.
So this is the story. This is the image that I know that was the one that I think launched where Santa Claus came from.
Yeah.
Let me pull out this article. Let's get into it, even though it's months after Christmas.
Yeah. Well, it still has to do with Coca-Cola, because
it does still have to do with Coca-Cola.
Hugely impactful in that image.
Yeah. Okay. So the Tunnel Hill Heritage Center and Museum says Santa's Civil War origins. You could call it the face that launched 1,000 Christmas letters. Appearing on January 3rd, 1863, the Illustrated Magazine's Harper's Weekly, two images cemented the nation's obsession with the jolly old elf. The first drawing shows Santa distributing presents in a Union Army camp. Lest any reader questions Santa's allegiance in the Civil War, he wears a jacket patterned with stars and pants colored in stripes. In his hands, he holds a puppet toy with a rope around its neck and features those like a Confederate President Jefferson Davis.
So he played both. So even then, they would play both sides. What it looks like.
No. Puppet with a rope around his neck. I think.
Rope around his neck.
Yeah, I think it's war propaganda. I think it's what this is. The appearance of our modern version of Santa Claus is often attributed with the works of Haddon Sundblom, who drew Santa for Coca-Cola Advertising Company beginning in 1931. However, what we consider to be Santa comes from the drawings of Thomas Nast, a Bavarian immigrant, political cartoonist extraordinaire, and the person who did as much as any one man to preserve the Union and bring the war to an end, according to General Ulysses S. Grant. Nast tapped his boyhood memories of St. Nicholas to sketch a Santa with a reindeer-drawn sleigh, long white beard, and fur-lined hat, and coat visiting a Union Army stamp. Oh, okay. Nast's Santa isn't as decked out in red, however, but a star-spangled outfit featuring red and white striped pants and a blue jacket with white stars. Nast enhanced the patriotic setting by drawing soldiers firing an artillery salute, the stars and stripes flapping proudly in the breeze, and a triumphal arc decorated with evergreens. Well, this goes on and on, but that is pretty damn interesting.
Well, I still think they could be canceled for even being a part of the Union, because remember, Abraham Lincoln is racist, so they were fighting on behalf of Abraham Lincoln.
God.
So therefore, even though he freed the slaves, he's racist. Therefore, just being a part of the Civil War at all makes them racist. So, canceled Coke. You're done. You're done for by your own rules. Two can play that game.
Says when the normies start getting cognitive overload on this crap too, they have worn out their welcome. Yeah, and it's starting to turn.
Yeah,
it's like what you said with your mom. Like when your mom was like watching the Equalizer and was like, "This is terrible." Yeah. And I see like things in comment section where people are like just starting to now get to the point where like Star Trek Discovery is a little woke. It's like, all right, if you didn't pick up on it already, but so it's like it's getting out there. I think like I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't really have any insight into what it is. I just hope it stops. I'm just tired of it, but
it really does have to stop because it's becoming not just a distraction. And even though I love a lot of these channels, I'm sure I'm not the only one who's just tired of hearing about pronouns and hearing about people complain about pronouns. Like, I just want to get back to like, okay, I know normal life is dead, right? It's almost like the Joker in the Dark Knight. Like, you change things forever. There's no way going back.
Right. Can't ever go back.
I want to get to some sort of normalcy where it's just not all about this. And I don't know if that's coming.
I don't even know anymore.
I just into this culture war and making everything political and making such a statement behind BS. It's a mess. And since your dildo's asking you to look up the history of Fanta, I don't know anything about Fanta. Are they racist too?
Yes, and it's connected to Coke.
Yeah, I know it's connected to Coke. But I didn't know.
Pretty interesting. All right.
Really?
How Fanta was created for Nazi Germany.
Oh boy.
The soda product was made from apple fibers and a cheese byproduct. Sounds disgusting. It's February 1944, and Berlin is attempting to recover from American aerial bombing, but life and industry continues on the city's outskirts. In farmhouses, bottles clang, and a mix of ex-convicts, Chinese laborers, and other workers fill glass bottles of what was likely a cloudy brownish liquid. This is one of Coca-Cola's makeshift bottling operations, and they are making Nazi Germany's signature beverage.
Oh, maybe we will bring down Coca-Cola then.
Even during the war, Germans want their Fanta. The soft drink Fanta was invented by Coca-Cola, which is weird because I always associated Fanta with like Latin America.
Yeah, because those damn commercials. The Fanta, Fanta.
Yeah.
You got all these girls from different islands and shit dancing and shit. Like, yeah.
Yeah. I always just
some boring German drink. I just knew it was some island shit.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like, Anyway, an American company inside of Nazi Germany during World War II developed at the height of the Third Reich. The new soda ensured the brand's continued popularity. Fanta became a point of nationalistic pride.
Whoa.
What? And was consumed by the German public, from the Frau's cooking at home to the highest officials of the Nazi party.
Hashtag cancel Coca-Cola.
How is Fanta not canceled? Oh my God. The drink was technically fruit flavored, but limited wartime resources made that descriptor not wholly accurate in its ingredients. Well, whatever. Okay. Blah, blah, blah.
So even back then they were making it full of bullshit. Oh, we don't got fruit because of the war. So here's a bunch of shit.
Check this out. By the time Hitler and the Third Reich marched into Austria, Coca-Cola had been in Germany for nearly a decade.
Whoa.
Coke was invented in 1886 by Dr. John Stiff Pemberton, who sold it at a local Atlanta pharmacy for 5 cents a glass. Can you imagine that shit? Some guy just came up with Coke like at his house. And then it's
like 5 cents a glass. You just have to think like, oh, this tastes pretty good.
Yeah.
Good job, Pemberton.
And it's like the most widely distributed beverage like in the world 1 billion times over. That's wild.
Yeah. I'm sure there's somebody who in 1886 bought a glass and then by like 1906 or whatever was like, whoa, this shit is everywhere.
Yeah, right. It was like iPhones.
Yeah.
Pemberton was a Confederate Civil War veteran still suffering from a saber wound. While recovering, he became addicted to morphine. Coca-Cola made from the coca leaf and the cola nut. Hence the name was an attempt to find an alternative painkiller.
So he was basically, he came up with something for like methadone purposes, basically.
Yeah, essentially. The coca leaf is used.
And he was a Confederate. How is Coca-Cola not canceled no more? How are they not canceled?
I think at this point it's like trying to cancel the banks. It's like they're just too big. Like, what are you going to do? How are you going to get rid of Coke? The coca leaf was used to make highly addictive cocaine, which helped explain the drink's quick expansion. Yeah, because everyone's getting high, getting lit off
Coke. Used to have pure cocaine back in these days.
In 1895, Coca-Cola's CEO boasted of its presence in every American state and territory. Wow. In 1933, when Hitler and the Nazi Party were assuming power, German-born Max Kite, took over the company's German subsidiary. Coca-Cola GmbH. Kite was an imposing figure, tall, okay, great, charming. Back in America, the Coca-Cola company, led by Robert Woodruff, did not discourage this. The company sponsored the 1936 Berlin Olympics, which Woodruff attended, and made banners featuring the Coca-Cola logo alongside the swastika.
Oh man! So before Disney was doing, hundreds of years, almost 100 years before Disney was doing fucking movies in front of concentration camps, Coca-Cola was putting their logo next to swastikas for the Nazis. That's crazy.
Amazing. That is amazing. And like Gina Carano says something like, hey, maybe, we're getting a little close to like the pre of what Nazi Germany was. And they're like, you're fucking gone. Yeah. Maybe they still got Nazis at Coke. Who knows?
Maybe. Apparently has a huge... Coca-Cola has a lot of connection to the Confederate Army in Nazi Germany. And that's just on record. And cocaine. These are just... And still is linked to cocoa leaf extract. So...
Wow.
I think Be Less White. Maybe they're not talking about race at all.
Holy shit. Look at this. The company sponsored the Berlin... Okay. Kite, is that it? Kite. This way too close to a slur for me, especially when we're talking about Nazis in Germany. Yeah. A little. Kite used a 10th anniversary party for Coca-Cola to order a mass Sieg Heil Nazi salute in honor of the dictator's 50th birthday.
Oh
my God. He declared that this was to commemorate our deepest admiration of our Fuhrer.
Whoa! I'm really... Dr. Seuss got canceled. That's a trillion years old, but Coca-Cola doesn't?
Coca-Cola straight up saluted Hitler. And they don't get
tell you to be less white.
Oh my God.
Jeez, be less... It was straight up saluted Hitler and was made by a guy in the Confederate Army. And you're telling us about our shit. Oh, you're literally linked to slavery and Nazis. It was like the two worst things over the past 200 years. Your corporation is directly linked to them. Yeah. Indelibly. Are you serious?
Oh, this gets better. This gets better. Okay. Coca-Cola wasn't alone in ignoring Hitler's increasing aggression. Other American industries, such as Hollywood, overlooked Nazi Germany's human rights atrocities and went out of their way to retain German business. This is like Christmas.
Man, I wonder, this never happened before where Hollywood went out of their way to retain business from a very evil country that puts people in camps.
This is amazing. Oh my God, you are right, sir. What a parallel you just drew.
Yeah.
Apparently, too, I don't know if you heard about that, but Gary mentioned it on the Nooner that China, I guess, declared like homosexuality is now a mental illness.
Huh.
Yes. And we'll see how all of our
You know what? I just know our media who's so for the LGBTQ community. I know platforms like this who are so for that community, they're gonna have something to say to China, of course.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. They go after all those gay the guys who won't make the cakes, those anti-gay bakers. They go hard after them. They cancel everyone who doesn't say a kind thing. They went after Dave Chappelle for crying out loud. I'm sure they would never they wouldn't contradict their own integrity.
No.
And not go after China. No, I'm sure they wouldn't do something like that. No. I'm sure we'll just watch in the next following weeks where they criticize and chastise and stop doing business out of protest. I'm sure that'll happen.
Absolutely.
Let's keep reading this amazing article.
Goodness, right. We have
Hitler, thank you so much, Sentient Dildo. You are an asset to this channel, my friend.
Yeah, you are, man.
Hitler's invasion of Europe in 1999 did not phase Kite or the Atlanta Bays. I got it, Keith. I'm just saying
Keith or K or something. Yeah.
Didn't
This
phase
channel's about
Keith.
to get monetized hopefully in a few weeks. So
I don't like this. It makes me uncomfortable. All right.
Yeah.
Didn't phase Keith or Atlanta-based Coca-Cola either. The company continuously supplied its German subsidiary with syrup and supplies. By the way, this is all during rations, because when we were during war, well, I don't know, maybe not. Maybe we weren't rationing things yet in 1939, because I don't think we weren't attacked yet. So okay, maybe not. The company continuously supplied its German subsidiary with syrup and supplies. In addition, Keith followed German troops into conquered countries such as Italy, France, and Holland, allies, to take over their respective Coca-Cola businesses.
Wow, that's crazy.
Holy
so
shit.
wait, let me get this straight. At this point, Coca-Cola is already an international company. The fucking guy linked to the that's fucking brutal, man.
I gotta
He's
make
like,
a
well,
video about this. This is crazy.
My country happens to be in power right now, and they're taking over all your country. So I'm gonna just take over whatever Coca-Cola operations. Apparently, parent company Coke is like, well, that's just how it quickly crumbles.
This is great. Wow, this is awesome. Okay. By 1940, Coca-Cola was the undisputed soft drink king of Nazi Germany. This is amazing.
Shit.
According to legend, there's a photo in the Coke archives of military leader Hermann Goering chugging a bottle of Coca-Cola. Oh my God. Hitler was rumored to enjoy the caffeinated beverage while watching American movies like Gone with the Wind. Oh no. Then in December 7th, 1941, Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. The U.S.'s entrance into World War II meant that American companies had to immediately stop all business activities with the enemy, which I'm sure Coca-Cola did. In addition, the German government was threatening to seize enemy-owned businesses. General Motors pulled out of Germany, though Opel, a fully owned subsidiary of GM, still operated there. But I think that's technically a French company. Not sure, though. IBM's operations were seized by the Third Reich, though controversy exists on how much they contributed to the German war effort. Coca-Cola HQ in Atlanta also cut off communications with Germany. Coca-Cola was on the verge of going flat. Keith couldn't make Coke, and at any point, the Nazi government could seize his beloved company. But he had an idea. He had an alternate beverage specifically designed for the German market. Dude, this guy actively made like business with our enemies.
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is amazing. Okay.
Go ahead.
Working with his chemist, Keith patched together a recipe with the limitations imposed by wartime rationing. That's what I thought was going on, but I was wrong. It was basically made from the leftovers of other food industries: fruit shavings, apple fibers, the pulp, beet sugar, and whey. The liquid remaining after milk has been curdled and strained during cheese production. Today, in this concoction, Keith told him to use their imagination. Joe Nip, a salesman, pitched Fanta, shorthand for the German word for fantasy. It stuck. This guy created a product. Coca-Cola's lead guy in Atlanta created a product designed to be sold to Nazis during the World War II.
Yeah. It designed to use what they could with the rationing.
What a piece of shit. This is amazing.
I don't want a Fanta anymore, that's for sure.
Fanta saves Coca-Cola GmbH. I don't know what that GmbH is. Sales rose gradually during the war, particularly as other choices became harder and harder to find. It wasn't simply drunk either. Fanta was popular as sweetener for soups due to the severe sugar rationing, since the drink's renown earned an exemption from rationing after 1941. It was likely used for a variety of other cooking and baking needs. It was Fanta or nothing. Tristan Donovan, author of the book Fizz, How Soda Shook Up the World, had pretty much market dominance during wartime. Wow. For Pendergrast, there's little doubt that Keith worked with the Nazis, but he sees Keith as a corporate man rather than a Nazi ideologue. That's even worse. He doesn't have values. He was just selling it to whoever would buy it.
And this is the brand that tells you to be less white.
That's terrific.
And yeah, cinch your dildo. YouTube, speaking of the words we're using, they're like that with censorship. So it doesn't have to be a mod or anybody deleting your comments, because some comments don't always get YouTube just eats them.
No, yeah, sorry, dude. No one here is deleting comments for sure. I wouldn't think so, anyway.
Yeah.
Beza, just like I said, yeah, buddy.
That's crazy.
Wow.
Wow. And he was held as a hero. Wait, it says, despite being on the wrong side of history, I'm reading a little bit down. It said Keith did get his wish. Partially, he was held as a hero by the Americans back in Atlanta for keeping the company alive in Germany.
What?
The company's VP in sales, Harrison Jones, both praised Keith by calling him a great man for operating in dire circumstances. He was given the command of Coca-Cola.
Oh my God.
This story is crazy. It's been Buckaroo Bazu. I'm fucking up your last part of your name, Buckaroo.
That's the Chinese slang term for white liberals.
Is it Bazu? Okay.
Bezau? I think it's Bezau.
It says this has been public knowledge for decades. Everyone chooses to ignore it. I did not know this, and I'm glad I do. I've learned so much from doing YouTube. And I knew a little bit about Coke. I didn't know it was this bad.
I think I heard something about this, but I didn't know it was this bad. And now considering like them, with their racial preaching, it's like you literally made money on the Nazis.
Yeah.
Like you literally made money
and praised it after the fact. Praised the guy like, hey, even though you guys
promoted him.
You promoted him. When Hitler was taking over countries in Europe, he just took over the Coca-Cola operations for whatever country he was taking over.
Yeah, he just went in right behind him.
And they praised him again, and he ends up being the head guy in Coca-Cola Europe. He was promoted for this. This is
amazing.
In the movie Liar Liar, and I'm almost about to dox myself because my damn mouse is on start cam. I have my mask off, so you're almost about to see me. But in the movie Liar Liar, he talks about there's like a scene where the girl talks about, oh man, these people who got off for trying to rob somebody's house and getting hurt, and then he says, I could have got you more money. Like that's what it seems like. Like, yeah, this is despicable, but he made a lot of money, so it was okay.
And now they're preaching to everyone else.
And apparently Buckaroo Bazu says that there's a advertisement in the Hitler Youth Handbook for Fanta.
I believe it.
Sheesh. I don't want a Fanta at all, man. Yes, since the war is excellent business. It's why we're back to bombing shit immediately. Isn't that great?
Yeah, right? What a coincidence. Oh my God.
Sheesh.
That's wild. That's wild. Coca-Cola literally profited on genocide.
Absolutely. So we see that, we talk about Disney and major corporations who currently, everyone's in bed with China. They're basically profiting off of genocide, modern day. And you see that this is not new. This is what has been baked into the corporate mindset for a long time. And just the fact that they're going so cancel happy. It's okay to cancel the Muppets. It's okay to cancel Dr. Seuss, which is around the same era. Pretty much is the same era that we're talking about with all this stuff. But these big corporations, it's so funny how their transgressions don't really get the same light. Isn't it funny?
I think we should call for Coca-Cola to give back all the money that they made during World War II to the victims' families of the Holocaust. I think it's only right. You made millions of dollars. Let's adjust the dollars for modern dollars, obviously.
Yeah.
All the money that Coca-Cola made, I think it should 100% be given to the families of these of the Holocaust victims. Why not?
I 100% agree.
You could, and I'm sure the accounting. I'm sure the accounting's right there. You could go down the numbers and figure out exactly how much it was.
Yeah.
Do the right thing, Coca-Cola.
Yeah. I'm sure they won't. I'm sure that'll never happen.
That is awesome. God,
and the Islington girl says, I feel dirty now. I feel a little bit like, man, I don't know if I ever want to get it. Like, I was already a little swirly with Coca-Cola. I need any excuse I can to not drink Coca-Cola or any pop. I call it pop because I'm from Detroit. I know soda everywhere else. But any excuse I can to not drink that shit, I need. So I'm going to go ahead and take it, man. That's pretty fucked up. Seriously, all jokes aside, it's really fucked up.
It's fucked up because it's like, not only was it not like looked down upon, or there hasn't been any kind of like, consequences. It's like the guy got promoted.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
in the 50s,
after
the fact.
Yeah, way to go making money on those Nazis. That really worked for us. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So they were A-okay with it.
And now they're coming out saying this shit. That is amazing. That is amazing. Yep. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, my friend, we approached 2 hours today.
Yeah, I see that.
How do you feel about wrapping it up?
Yeah, let me get back on camera for the wrap because I've been off camera trying to read that shit. And because I cannot read through this fucking mask.
No,
one day I'll have a new mask and I'll be able to read through. But until that day, I'll be all janky. But I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'd say we gotta get some tips going to Vigilante Williamson. Give him some Coinbase, so some money, so that we can get him a new mask.
Yeah. Get Vigilante's mask.
The Vigilante needs a new mask fund.
Yeah, and just put my channel in the chat. Please sub if you haven't. I know a lot of you already are sub. So it's not that many people that are in the chat that I don't recognize. So Buckaroo by Zoo, which I think you may have just recently subbed anyway. So if you haven't subbed, please do. I talk about a lot of things we talk about here. I have my show, the Vigilante Wednesday show tomorrow. Then I'll be back on Matt's channel on Friday for the MFer, which I love. It's become kind of funnest part of the week for me.
Yeah.
So if you haven't subbed, please do sub. I just released a new video talking about the Superman situation, asking, does anybody really care about it? Because I don't really think people do. I think Superman's kind of a dead franchise that they're.
It is. Yeah, but for you guys who are new to the channel, the MF for Cocktail Lounge, the show we do every Friday night. It's a blast. It's really more like just like a hang. We're busting each other's balls. We do it at 8 o'clock Pacific, which is like right after FNT. So we go late. We go all night. So check that show out. It's really, really fun. It's my favorite thing to do.
Since your dildo tries to get us to cancel ourselves, it's great.
Yeah, it's terrific. I love it. Yeah, it's great. The Islington girl. Oh my God, I forgot about that. Jesus, what the fuck? I forgot all about that. Oh my God, I gotta go back and watch it. That was the
last podcast,
fellas.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes, that was incredible. Some of the stuff you find on the damn internet, right?
I'm amazed I still have a channel. That was something else. Oh my God.
Yeah. The past few weeks have probably been hairy, but hey, most successful week of your channel, I'm sure.
Jesse Hatch asked, why did I pick Saturn as my logo? Well, to be fair, I did have this logo designed, so they kind of picked it. But the idea is that I cover a lot of science fiction on this channel. So it was that, but that's also a film reel in the middle. So it's kind of like science fiction film is like my brand. That's what I talk about. That's what I love. That's what I dig. So that's why. Plus, it's fun. It's spacey. That's why I've got the Andromeda Galaxy behind me. I like outer space. It's fun stuff. The Islington Curl says she can't agree. It's a fun show. Oh, and additionally, you have to go sub over to Vigilante Williamson if you enjoy this show, because next week we'll be on his channel. Same bat time, but on his channel. We go back and forth, Inquisition style. 1 week my channel, the next week Vig's channel. So if you enjoy what you heard today, uncovering Nazi plots with Coca-Cola, feel free to make sure you sub over to him so you can see us next week. We'll be there, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, keep the fun going, man. Keep the fun going. This has been a really fun show, man. This is the third week of this. Yeah, third week, issue number 3. And it's been really fun. Really fun. It's a
fucking blast, and we're out to get you, culture criminals.
Yeah,
we are a superhero duo, and we will not rest until we get you, till we take you down, because that's what we do. We're cultural crime fighters. Watch out. Watch your back. All right, guys, that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for watching. You can check us all again in 2 days. We'll be on the MF for Cocktail Lounge at like 8 p.m. Pacific. Thank you so much for hanging out. Buckaroo Bizal, Eric K.
Hell, Eric K.
Love that like button. I love his sentiment. Ascension Dildo, you are an asset as always. The Islington Girl, you are a terrific addition to this channel. I love that you're here. Jesse Hatch, hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Drama Seuss.
Well, what are you going to do? Just another red shirt, my man. He's often on the MF for Cocktail Lounge. You can see him there. Jake D was hanging around here. Rajesh Taylor, as always. Rowan Ginger Raven. You guys are all American heroes, and I love you very much. Thank you so much for hanging with us. And we'll see you all on the next one.